This weekend, I am participating in a Gamedev FACEOFF. I mean, I guess that's an okay name for it. I'll be facing off against another YouTuber who goes by the name of Brackit Studios. We started off by going onto a website which chose the random theme for the challenge, that theme being Evolve. We both talked about the theme over Discord for a while before parting ways and starting the challenge. The first thing I did was message one of my good friends Ollie and asked him if he wanted to help with the game. Not long after, he messaged back saying he would help, so I grabbed my laptop and sprinted full pace to his house to get started. Can't be wasting any time. Now, before you guys all start freaking out and go, "What?" Just relax. Just relax. Firstly, I checked with Brackit Studios and he said it was fine, and secondly, well, Ollie's never coded anything in his life. So, wonder how that's going to turn out. Once I made it to his house, we both sat down and started to plan out what we were going to do with our game. While we were doing this, we also watched some videos from Danny to put us in the right mindset and get some ideas pumping. This also helped Ollie get introduced to the world of Unity game development, but I don't think he was as impressed at Danny's video as I bet you all are. Anyway, not long after, we finally came up with an idea while playing one of my most recent projects, Icy Blocks. With the theme being Evolved, we got the idea to take the main concept of Icy Blocks and make the blocks stick to you instead. Theoretically, I feel like I'm going to be saying that word a lot today. Theoretically, it shouldn't be too hard to put this game together, especially with the idea being close to Icy Blocks. But just to make things more difficult, we decided not to reuse any code from that project. So we opened up Unity and... damn it. We opened up Google Chrome and went to the Unity website to install Unity. Anyway, while that installs, let me go over the main idea for this game. You start off as a simple white cube in the middle of the screen. You can move around the small map with WASD controls, and as you do this, new cubes start to fall from the sky. Most of these cubes are bright green, but some of these are also red. As the player, your goal is to bump into as many of these green blocks as possible so they stick to you, which slowly evolves your player bigger and bigger, causing you to earn more and more points. But as you continue to play longer and longer, more and more red cubes fall down, and if you accidentally bump into these, you die. Oh, look at that! It's finished installing. A lot quicker than I expected. Okay, now open up Unity. Nope. Oh, should probably get a screen recorder while we're at it. And there we go, now we can finally open up Unity and create a brand new project. We decided to name this game Sticky Cubes. The first thing we did was create a cube. How amazing is that? We quickly stretched this out and turned it into the... not that way. Bloody hell. There we go, we quickly stretched it out into a floor object and moved it down a little bit. And then, after a while of Ollie cluelessly walking around, made the floor black. Because, you know, gotta be original. The last game had a white floor, so variety. We then created a player cube and moved him a little above the map so that he would fall onto the map as soon as the game started. That's gravity for you. We then moved the main camera behind the player and turned it into a child of the player, so the game always follows the player around. Now that the player was mostly set up in the game, we had to give him the ability to move. So we opened up Visual Studio and quickly whipped up this script. I know it doesn't look impressive, but you should have seen Ollie's face. We both had a little play with the movement and got the perfect movement speed for the game. While we were doing this, we also upped the friction of the player a little. So now instead of this being like icy blocks, it's just blocks. Great! But it wasn't long till we were a little bored of the game. It was time to put our plan into action. We put together a new green block and set up all of its collisions and gravity. We then jumped back into the programming and made it so when the player collides with a green block, it sticks on. Then I quickly made a system that spawns the cubes in every so often, so there are enough to pick up. But let's just say the outcome from all this work was just a bit of a mess, to say the least. One of the problems was that all the cubes are spawning at the exact same spot, so that was an easy fix. Or not? Damn it, okay. It was around this point that we realized that we hadn't turned on the microphone. So, another problem, eh? But now that the microphone is set up, let's hear what we had to say for ourselves at this time. Oh no, I jinxed it. I jinxed it. It's the first problem.
What?
It's our first complaint from the...
Uh-oh, what's happened?
Does not exist.
I'd love to hear them.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
But it wasn't long till we had fixed the spawning problems. Oh, it's beautiful. and started to work on the collisions being smooth and more sticky. There we go. That's got them. Sticky cubes now. Bam. Just like that. Around this time we also added a jump function, which was kinda operational. Then we also noticed that there were a few bouncing problems.
You might want to fix that.
He's still going upwards.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he'll go down soon. Here we go, he's going back down. Nearly there. Oh.
Oh, good idea. Oh.
We then spent a very long time trying to make the jumping work properly. Like, a really long time. Even Google was fighting against us at this point.
It's from 2019. They're all saying the same thing. He's got an error too. I tried that too.
Maybe our program was dead.
Things were flying, super jumping, and stupidly bouncing until we just couldn't take it anymore. So we just walked off, jumped onto Ollie's PlayStation, and played Gang Beasts for about half an hour. Over this time, we both came up with our own way of fixing it, but I think you'll see which one actually worked.
You do.
You'll never know.
You just turn gravity on.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
When it's still on, it just...
Oh, I'm flying now. That's why I probably should have gravity.
After Ollie's great attempt at fixing the glitch, I jumped back into the hot seat and just went crazy. I had a small idea of how I was going to fix it, but in the end it didn't do anything, and we decided just to remove the jump function completely. We had already wasted way too much time on it, and we really needed to get moving on this game. So we deleted all jumping functionality and jumped straight into working on the red blocks. A little bit of copy and paste from the green block and a bit of googling later, we had a fully functioning red block ready to go.
Oh, there we go.
Over the next half an hour or so, we worked on a few more small things like making the green block turn white when sticking to the player and removing the last few traces of the jump mechanic. But then we realised it wasn't long till dinner, so we packed up our gear, he gave me the USB for the game, and we parted ways. After that, I went home, had some dinner, played some games on the Xbox, and went to sleep. The next day I woke up as early as I possibly could to get as much of a head start as I possibly could. I had a long list of things I wanted to implement into the game. I mean, the list is just keeps bloody growing. So I straight away got to work. At this point, I already knew that there were a few chores I had to do during the day that may take a considerable amount of time away from development. Oh, and don't forget the maths homework, English homework, economics homework, and well, the list goes on. But you know, it's fine. It's 100% fine. It's just don't worry about that. Still should have plenty of time to finish this all by the end of the day. At this point, I already had all the main features the game needed, but most of them had many bugs to fix, and I still had to make this game releasable. Meaning I still had to create main menus, pause menus, etc. So instead of just thinking about how much I had to do, I just did it. The first thing I did was completely redesign the game's colour scheme. I took out the game's main lighting and made the background colour black to make the game a little more intense and dark. So instead of there being one massive light at the top of the scene, I made it so every single cube had its own point light attached to it, meaning it would glow and look awesome around the map. But around this time I realised that the game's collisions were very buggy and not quite as smooth as I would hope. There was also a problem that if you ran into the grey block, I forgot to tell you about those, didn't I? They basically just get in the way. There was also a problem that if you ran into the grey blocks, all of the blocks that should be stuck to you all go crazy. To try fix this, I turned all of the blocks' rigid bodies to kinematic, basically meaning they don't get pushed by collisions and don't fall down. But obviously that meant that they wouldn't fall from the sky or off the map. But I knew if I could make the rigid body kinematic, it would get rid of the problem with the grey blocks. So I decided to keep the cube's rigid bodies kinematic and create my own gravity and collision system, so I had complete control over when and how things collide with each other. I started off by making some simple logic. There we go, logic. If the cube is above a certain height, then it should fall. Once that cube falls enough, it will stop falling and perfectly align itself with the ground. After that, I made it so if a cube goes out of bounds, it would also start to fall down. With this basic logic, what is my Irish accent doing today? Basic logic! With this basic logic, I made the cubes only have physics when I wanted them to, meaning I had the best of both worlds. This also majorly improved the game's memory usage. It's never good to have so many rigid bodies at once fully active. But it took way longer than I expected to set up the system, and at this point I only had 6 hours remaining to finish it off and put it on itch.io. When you realise that you haven't even started any of your chores or your homework, things start to get a little tight. I immediately jumped straight into all of my work outside of the game. I thought it would be best to just get it out of the way so I could have as much time possible to finish the game off. And there we go. I even got a bit of cricket training in. Oh, yeah. I then had my dinner and relaxed for a little bit before chucking myself straight back into it. I was close to the finish line now, and I knew I couldn't let Brackit Studios win. So I put my headphones on, got my music playing, and went full programmer mode. And there we go! With only an hour or so left before the deadline, I had finished all of the small features I wanted in the game to really put this game together. Even though the game is kinda bad, I'm just happy I finished it completely on time, especially as it's the first time I've done this game jam style game development before. So with an hour or so left, I built the game to all 3 main platforms, loaded all the files to itch.io, and submitted it as my final result. If you want to give it a play, then jump on to the page. There will be a link in the description. Though it's quite simple, I found it tons of fun to play, and if you can beat my high score of 40, let's just say you're pretty cool. So yeah, this was quite an intense challenge for me, especially with it being the first time I've done this kind of thing. But my only regret is making the game so hard. Other than that, I feel like this game is a decent project for the given amount of time. Like how? I only made this in 2 days. Think about how long it takes to normally make a game. Like, 2 days is pretty special. I want to thank Ollie for the great support he gave me on the first day of the challenge. It really helped getting an idea going. Hopefully I didn't scare you away from doing any programming stuff in the future. Anyway, after the challenge, I jumped into a call with Brackit Studios, and we talked about each other's projects. Hello.
What's up?
Bro, you've already got a banger setup going. You've got the
It's
camera and
improving.
everything.
It's improving over time. How was the challenge? How do you think you did?
I feel like I've got something decent out of the 2 days.
That's fair. That's fair.
You can play it. You
I
can
think
die. Always good.
I think you probably did better than me because mine was kind of similar to my last game, but just a different take on it, I guess. Made with Unity. Okay. Alright. Okay, so you decided to go for a 3D game.
Yeah. Thought why not?
That's fair. I haven't learned 3D much. I see. That's kind of cool. I like it. So I like what you did with the theme, the Evolve theme, actually.
Yeah. It was a long time. Many hours of sleep gone.
Oh yeah, for me too. I was asleep. That's so cool. I just figured out that like the cubes disappear off of you when you like.
You
go
wouldn't believe how
outside
long
the
that
house.
took for some reason.
Really?
The gravity, I messed it up so bad. And then I tried to make it jump. It was painful, but I got it eventually. That's what I spent most of the time on, just things falling when I want them to.
Mm.
I really don't know why it was so painful.
That's why I made mine in 2D. I went with a comfort zone for 2D stuff. That's really good.
So it's been a week since we did the challenge, and the final poll results have come through. Holy shit, I did it. Yes! Oh, that feels good. Yes! Oh, thank you for everyone that voted. Jeepers. Okay. I want to thank you all that helped with the voting process for this challenge. I hope you enjoyed getting to play our games a little earlier than everyone else. If you're interested in being involved in that kind of thing in the future, be sure to DM me on Instagram or Discord. Links will be in the description. Anyway, thanks for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then be sure to smash like on this video. And if you didn't, well, I regret to say this, but I guess you should probably smash the dislike button. While you're down there, be sure to also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you don't want to miss out on any future content. At the time of recording this, we aren't very far from hitting 200 subscribers, so it'd be nice to reach that by the end of March. Also, comment down below what you thought about today's video. Did you enjoy this new kind of video? Or do you prefer other types of videos that I've been posting on this channel? Also, let me know if you want to see more of this project in the future, because I would love to work on it again, even if it was just for a week or so. And with that, I hope you all have a great next few weeks. See you next time.